How does your religion portray things with art?
Well, there's a lot of art in the churches, and I guess it depicts like all of the stories that happened historically in the Roman Catholic religion. In the Roman Catholic religion, it's all very intricate and very detailed. So yeah.
Is art very prominent in your religion?
Yes, I think art's very prominent in the Roman Catholic religion. You see it a lot, for example, in the altars. I feel like that's already a piece of art. You see it a lot in the outfits people wear. You see it a lot in the design of the churches. So it's extremely prominent.
How does religion portray things with art? There isn't really much art in Iglesia, not like in Catholic churches where there were a lot of art. And next is art very prominent in your religion? It's not really, there isn't really much art, but it can be applied to their architecture. There are a lot of, they design the buildings really, really well. It's different from most churches.
For the first part, in my religion, art is very important. There's a lot of pictures of Buddha everywhere, paintings and so on. However, in reality, he wasn't a happy-go-lucky, big fat guy. He was actually thin and such. But then art portrays him to be a jolly person, which is what the religion tries to be.
In the context of our religion, we portray art as a symbol or tool for worship. Majority of the forms of art that we have is non-figural, meaning that we cannot draw, paint, or sculpt a man because it's against the Bible. The most, I would say, prominent form of art of Islam is calligraphy and architecture. The most famous one is actually our Bible, our Quran. It's a beautiful art that explains the stories and the stories of our prophets, the stories of Prophet Muhammad, and many other teachings. And it's written in Arabic, which makes it more beautiful. Well, if you're gonna compare it to other religion, it's not that prominent because of some constraints that our teachings, because of some of the constraints that we have, like what I told you guys a while ago about art being non-figural.
How does your place of worship look like?
Well, it's usually a proper church, and there's usually a lot of statues, sculptural statues of, again, historical figures like Mother Mary, saints and stuff. There's usually paintings on the wall, so it's very inclusive.
How does this place make you feel closer to God?
Well, I feel like the idea of a church is to really feel like you're immersed into the religion. So I think like with most of the churches I go to or I went to, there were lots of like paintings that depicted what happened in the past or like that remind people of why we go to church, you know.
How does your worship place look like? It looks like a classroom where you're seated like students. It's really big. And then right in front there's one single speaker, and behind him are, I guess they're like board members or I don't know. It's like a corporation, and they're wearing suit and tie. And right beside them are the choir. They're like 3 rows of singers. How does the place make you feel closer to God? It doesn't make you feel closer to God because it makes you feel closer to the speaker, because they want you first to listen to the speaker through God. It's weird.
And architecture, the worship place looks very different from the Catholic Church. The architecture has more Chinese tones to it because it does follow Shi Buddhism. And the place does make me feel closer to my deity because like being put in a place that follows the architecture of where your religion originated from really helps with finding yourself.
Our worship place is what we call a mosque or a mosque. So in Arabic it's called masjid. The architecture of a mosque is shaped most strongly by the regional traditions of the time and place where it was built. There's not really a common design in our mosque, but it should have the following. First, it should hold the entire population of a city or town, of a Muslim city or town. So majority of our mosques are big. And second, it should have a cleaning room. This is where we ritually clean ourselves before praying. What else? I think majority also of our mosques have towers. So it's when you see a mosque, it usually has 4 towers constructed on it. And most mosques also feature 1 or more domes. I think that's it. And the furnishings also. There are other decorative elements in the mosques, like the calligraphic art found inside our mosques. Light is an essential feature for us, for the mosques, since the first and last daily prayers occur before the sun rises and after the sun sets. So we don't really have lights inside, but what we have are sunlight. So it's kind of open. The mosque's open. The next question is, how does a place make you feel closer to your God?
How does music help you practice or express your faith?
I think it's a big part of it because I think music in itself is its own language, so it's kind of its own thing. So yeah.
Do you use music in your religious rituals?
More often than not, yes. We sing a lot in church, in between masses and stuff. And yeah.
How does music help you practice or express your faith? It actually does help me express my faith because their music are really heartfelt. Like most of the lyrics are really nice. Do you use music in your religious rituals? Sometimes.
And there is music sometimes in the practice. There's use of instruments with like the gong and so on. But then there's usually instrumental playing when you're doing your meditation. And
Well, since mosque is our place of worship, I think it's obvious that it should bring us closer to God since it's our place of worship. And it's a holy place where we communicate with Allah, and it's a place that we are united in praying. Actually, some of our prayers are in the form of songs. So it really helps us in communicating with God. Do you use music in your religious rituals? Yes, that's what I said a while ago.
Does your religion have plenty of religious movies?
Yes, we do. I think we do. Yeah, we do.
Okay. What scriptural stories are most of these about?
Well, the most prominent one I would think is like the Passion of Christ, like when it like depicted him going through whatever he went through in the past and stuff, like the crowning of thorns and stuff like that. So it's usually about him and like his story through life. I think.
Does your religion have plenty of religious movies? As far as I know, there is only one that is for Felix Manalo. It's like a life documentary for him. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it's good. What scriptural story are most of these about? Right now, there isn't really much scripture stories being talked about. It's more of they're gonna bring a topic from today's problems and apply it from their Bible and tell it to the people. But I used to go to the Sunday church for kids where they talked about the classic stories like Moses, the Red Sea, or Jesus helping the blind.
film, no, there aren't a lot of religious movies regarding Shi Buddhism. And the scriptural story, most of the scripture is actually more relating to self, and it's not about dogma. So I find it very helpful.
Well, I think there are none because it's haram or it's not allowed. You cannot portray the story of Muhammad because you cannot represent him, the Prophet or Prophet Muhammad, because you cannot represent him because it's not allowed in our religion. And you really cannot represent someone like God, or you cannot have someone, or you cannot have one that can act like God because it's not allowed. So yeah, majority of our religious movies are teachings, not really the story, not really the history, but teachings of Islam. Like what I said ago, it's not really about the history, the background of Islam, since it's not allowed to represent our prophets, or even and most importantly, it's not allowed to represent our God. So majority of the stories that we have are based on the teachings of the Quran.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.